In this video we are gonna color the cafe in Paris, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the name because I know it will be wrong. I will be using white gouache, burnt umber, Payne's grey, burnt sienna, titanium buff, red ochre, raw sienna, sepia, naples flesh, sap green, olive green, yellow, coral, gerranium red. In the description I will put link to coloring pages and also a video where I show you how to trace them onto paper. I start by mixing coral with water. If you don't have this color, just try mixing some red with white and get a pink tone, but of course you can use whatever colors you want. So I start by coloring the building. My paper is dry and I have a wet brush, so I have more control over the paint. But you can also try wetting the building area and drop some paint and watch it bleed. And when I'm drawing, I like to leave some spaces white, so it adds some interest and acts as highlights. Then with the same color I draw the awning, and I leave one stripe empty, so one color, one empty. And also the bottom part I'm gonna color the same. We are still using the coral color and gonna draw some flowers. I don't use this color for all of the pots, just some, and just make some irregular drops to show that there are flowers, and also finish coloring the bottom part of the building. While that is drying, I'm gonna draw some flowers using the red gerranium, and also leave some pots empty because later I will use the yellow color for the flowers. And I want my coffee machine to be red, because why not? And now it's time for the yellow color to finish all the empty flower pots. Then with raw sienna, I'm gonna draw all the wood. So it will be the chalkboard sides, countertop, and the wooden boxes, and the shelves inside and outside of the building, and also trunk of the tree. For the flower pots, I am using red ochre, and some of the pots I am color with titanium buff mixed with raw sienna, but you can color them in one color. Also the planks inside I color with the same mix, titanium buff with raw sienna. For the chalkboards, I mixed burnt umber with sepia to get very dark brown, because I like the warm tones, but also pure black would look amazing for the chalkboard insides, and also add some bit of accents to the wooden boxes and shelves and tree with this mix. For the bottom building part, I am using Naples Flesh. It is a very light and warm color, but you can also use the same pink or titanium buff if you like. And here also I am using wet on dry technique. And I decided to add the same color to the ground, just loose strokes. Then I switched back to titanium buff and raw sienna mix, added that to the ground also, and to the inside of the building and coffee packs in the shelf. I put sepia in this mix to make it a bit darker, and draw some more little accents to the ground, and to make the ground more interesting, in some spots I added the yellow color with loose strokes. Now with olive green I am drawing in all the greenery, except the tall leaf plants, and make some dots outside the lines so it looks more lively. Also you can add some dots of green onto the ground, so it will look like some of the leaves from flowers has fallen off. And for the flowers I try not to mix the green with the flower color, and it leaves white spaces that also look like highlights. And for the leaf plants I am using sap green. While that is drying, let's draw the second layer of color. I mixed gerranium red with the coral and darkened the building and the awning, so this is a wet on dry. I put the color in some spots, and then with clean wet brush I blended in the color. And I decided to add a very watered down Naples flesh to the blank stripes in the awning. For the building's name sign frame, I decided to do a wooden frame, so I used raw sienna. Now with burnt umber, I am adding accents to the coffee packs, and I also drew the awning, those thingies at the side with this color. Then with titanium buff and raw sienna mix, I darken the wall under the shelf and also add another layer of color for the inside and later add yellow for the lamps. Now with sap green, I go over all the greenery, leave some parts seen from the first layer, and then I mixed sap green with Payne's grey and went the third time over all the greenery, but even less than the second time. For the coffee cups, I am using Payne's grey, and for the building floor, too, and those two things under the shelf. Now with titanium buff and sepia mix, I darkened the flower pots and added some more dots to the ground. To red ochre pots, I mixed a little bit of Payne's grey to red ochre to get the color darker and darken the left side of the pots. And I add another layer to the inside to get it darker with titanium buff and sepia mix. Now we need to add shadows, some wet accents, and that will be it. For the shadows I am using Payne's grey, so my light source is at the right side and I'm drawing shadows everywhere where they should be. Behind the flowers, under the awning, and go over how many times you like, so more layers the darker the shadow will be. For the text on the chalkboards, I am using white jelly roll pen. For the highlights everywhere else, I am using white gouache because it is more opaque than the pen. So I add some dots on the ground, flowers, building, and I add diagonal lines to the window. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you share your drawing, please tag me so I can see it, and remember to check the link for the coloring pages, and see you next time. Bye!